Good morning and welcome to Morning Coach today. I am so glad you're with us. Hey, it's JB. Super pumped. It's June 3rd. We're ready to go this Monday. It's a great day to be alive. It's a great day to be enjoying the summer and really focusing on the things that we're going to achieve. I know we're in a do month now. For those of you just joining us or just getting started, we have our planning in December, and then we check, once in a while, pretty much every quarter, but I've got it kind of set up a little differently so it works with our system. But we should be back in action. We should be doing things this month, okay? And what are we going to learn this month as we're working on our plan? Well, we're going to talk about intelligent life design. My baby, we're going to talk about it today. This month, we're going to be getting into it. I got some cohorts going on where I'm doing some teaching, adding more students. I literally got thousands of students that are living an ILD life, and we're going to talk about that. This month, we're going to talk about career, entrepreneurship, residual income, passive income, freedom, some really awesome topics that I really enjoy. We're going to have fun. Typically, that's what we do in the summer. And then, as we come out of the summer, we start getting back into the planning as we live the ILD life. So there's a method to this madness. That's why I always say, hang in there. Just take it day by day. If you take it day by day and you learn these systems and you learn these philosophies and you start to take hold of them, they will work for you. But as Dr. Paul says, as you hear him on Saturdays, what he told me when he started working with me was like, wow, this is like getting another PhD. But it's a PhD in life and lifestyle design. And really, that's what intelligent life design is all about, is about using your intellect to design your life. Bring the things in that you want to and have some fun living this life. And I think even more so for me now, as I'm getting a little bit older, being able to transfer this knowledge to your children is so important. I wish somebody would have taught me these things. And so as we get into this deeper and we get into it this month, you're going to learn some new things. And I want you to continue your plan, continue the metaphysical morning ritual of, taking time for self-care, get here and listen to Coach Guest, do your 7 Ps, all our organizational stuff. If you're using a planner, great. Jump on the companion if you need it. That's all there for you. But we're taking a step further, and we're going to start looking at ILD and really diving into it. Okay, so that's this month. This week, we've got today, we're going to get in taking your time back. We'll talk a little bit about it. Tomorrow, I'm doing something a little unusual. So I kind of back when I would go to Barnes and Nobles, when there's still a few bookstores open, but I don't go to them very much. There's one in about an hour away. But I used to walk around and I would go through different sections and a book would call me and I would say, okay, this is a book that I want to read. Well, I did that this time. I just kind of went into Amazon and I was like, give me something that I think would be interesting. And what came up was Human Design for Business by Jamie Palmer. And it's not, the most successful book out there. It's got like 38 reviews. But what it is, it's this kind of new area that's really kind of taken off in this assessment of human design. And I thought, well, let's bring that to Morning Coach and specifically put it towards business. And we'll see, because I'm diving in right now and I'm not 100% in the book. So we'll see. And like any teaching, we'll reserve judgment until we get into it. But I'm anxious to study a little bit more about human design. It's got my interest. I'm not 100% bought in, but it's another, kind of a assessment type of idea, just like the Enneagram, and it's really taking off a little bit. So it might help a couple of us, right? So if it does, that's great. That's why we're going to jump into the book so we understand it. And even if we don't like human design or it's not something that works for us, we can say, okay, didn't really work for us, but we at least understand what it is, and we can utilize it in our life. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to start getting into that. Wednesday, we've got a discussion on what is the past, present, and future. This is a deep one. We're going really deep on Wednesday. I'm going to get into kind of my background in metaphysics, and we're going to talk about the understanding of time and why it's so important and the things that we're doing. So Wednesday is a very deep day. We're going to have some fun with that. Thursday, a great topic. I get this question so much, and it's an Ask JB, and it is, what is the fastest way to generate income? And I'll tell you, the fastest way is a gamble, right? Go put, all your money on black on the roulette table. I'm not saying to do that. Just stop right now, but it is a fast way. You can also lose your money the fastest. Remember, high risk, high reward. But I'm going to go over some ideas that aren't gambling. How can I get generating some income pretty quickly, like a second income stream? We're going to talk about that. And again, It's not gambling. I'm just telling you, what's the fastest way I get this question all the time? Well, you could probably go gamble on your phone now and put money. But the problem is there's massive risk and you could lose everything. I don't want you to do that. So we're going to talk about some ways you can generate income without gambling, okay? We'll continue on Friday talking about understanding residual and passive income. We'll talk a little bit about this. I know those of you who've been with me for years understand this inside and out. We're going to talk about the 4.5%. Again, I'm not a financial planner. I'm not a fiduciary. We got a lot of them. There are Ira's in our mastermind, who's awesome. We've got a lot of other fiduciaries and financial planners that are listening to Morning Coach. I am not one. So I'm going to tell you what I do, my beliefs and ideas behind it, and I think it'll help you. But I always want to preface that, and legally we have to too. So get financial advice from a financial planner. I'm going to tell you what I do, but I'm going to also talk about these concepts that are really awesome once you understand them. Okay. Saturday, of course, Dr. Paul continues. He's been bringing it. I hope you're enjoying learning about health and longevity a little bit more. And then Sunday, we've got trust and faith in your abilities. And this is a big one. I want you to really get that. I think that's a spiritual concept. It's going to help you be more successful. So we've got this due month. We're rocking and rolling. Things are really taking off. By the way, I've got a speaking event tomorrow in Grand Haven, Michigan. I'm going up to speak to Bob and Susan Negan's mastermind. Super excited about that. If you're listening to this now, I can't wait to see you. I've got some stuff planned for you. We're going to blow you away. We're going to have a lot of fun up there. So I'm excited about seeing you tomorrow. So I'll be heading up in the morning. We'll be doing dinner, all that stuff. It'll be a fun mastermind with Bob and Susan's group. It's going to be off the charts. So can't wait to get up there and speak and really share some ideas with you. But today we're going to start talking about ILD. So you may hear me talk about ILD constantly here on the show. If you're brand new, have been maybe 1 year, you're going, what the heck is ILD? ILD started after I launched my membership site in 2009, and I started to really figure out some different ways to live life and create different income streams. You've probably heard me mention I've got like 23 income streams. So I got all types of income streams coming in. Some make $5, some make thousands of dollars, right? It just depends on the income stream. But as I started studying business, I did my MBA, I looked at a lot of different business models. And as I got into aerospace, we were high margin. So it was always great. And I was like, wow, high margin's a great business. Aerospace is better. We were selling the same parts that you put on a truck, but it goes on an airplane and it's, 80 times more because it's going on an airplane because of the safety checks. But you still have just as much in it. So you can really make some money in that space. But then I started looking at some other spaces where I could make money. And specifically, we're going to talk about this on Friday, residual and passive income. Now, I told you that previously, I studied Dexter Yeager and Amway, and I really looked at the MLM model when I was doing my MBA and really dove into that and was like, wow, that's a great model. It just doesn't work because, it works. Don't get me wrong. It's just like anything else. It's just for 1%. The top people are making a lot of the money. Reason is it's a challenging business model. Even though it seems like a good one where you're taking the consumer out or you're taking the warehouse out and going direct to consumer, it's still a challenging one. But nowadays, with the internet, things have really changed, and it's allowing us to do all types of things that generate income, so much so that it can become a problem. Nicole always says, JB, you create certainty in people's lives, and it's true. I do believe that we can help you be certain because part of the problem with income generation today is it's a smorgasbord. It's like a menu with 1,000 things on it, and you can't decide what to eat. And the truth is you got to simplify and come to that these are the things I'm going to do. And ILD is the foundational piece of that, where you're using your intellect and then you're designing your life. Now, one part of that is professional experts, and I work with a lot of them, and I love professional experts because you can monetize on your expertise. Again, thinking business models, MBA, my master's in business administration. When you look at business, you say, wow, okay, let's take a look at business and what is a model that I can do that's high margin. And margin is what you sell something for and what you make in between. And a lot of business is low margin, or you're fighting on a price basis, right? When it comes to education, you're not fighting on a price basis. You're fighting on a personalized structure and system that you can communicate well with. Now, ILD can be an exit, meaning it can be a business that you sell, but typically I coach a lot of people that are in that position, but I don't teach a lot about that because I don't want to be in a business that I'm going to sell, that I'm going to exit. It's hard for me I get so emotionally and passionate about things to just, jump in and then try to exit. But that might work for you. And that's okay. That ILD can be an exit-based business. But really what ILD is about lifestyle design. And, I've got students all over the world doing all kinds of different things now. And basically, it's about looking at your life and looking at what you're good at, what you enjoy doing, and then bringing that to market. And a job can be ILD. I get that question a lot. Well, I got a job and I love it. Well, that can be ILD. Are you happy? Is it working for you? Is it generating the revenue for you? A lot of people are hybrid, meaning they have a job and they have something on the side. They have a second or third income stream. In fact, the cohorts we're launching, that's what it's all about. It's like, hey, you better wake up a little bit with AI. It's taking jobs left and right. Are you ready? That's our, kind of our marketing thing. Not mine, but Alistair's putting it together. But it's true. People need to start looking and going, okay, what else do I have? What else can I do with all this new technology that's coming out to make sure I'm secure? So I love it. I mean, I absolutely love it because it's opening people's minds up. Years ago, when I started teaching ILD, a book came out, The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. And we share a lot of the same views because Tim was all about, outsourcing and structuring systems to generate revenue. And he did great with 4-Hour Workweek. In fact, we were speaking at the same time. I ran into Tim at New York when that was launching. And a little bit different than ILD is more not about the 4-hour work week, right? It's not about working, not working. In fact, it's more about doing the things you love. So you're passionate about it and you're excited about it and you wake up and do it. And you just have to realize, even with ILD, as I help you get over the hump to get there, there'll be days you don't want to do it. I mean, it's just like eating chocolate every day. Eventually chocolate gets nasty. But if you step back, take a break, you come back, you'll realize you're doing the things you love. YouTube's a great example of that. There's a lot of YouTubers that are quitting that started because they loved it. They scaled too big. They didn't have a coach. So what happened was the business just kind of overtook them. They hired a lot of staff. And then it just collapsed because they just didn't want to do it anymore. It became work. I have a good friend that I coached, and we became really close, that built a huge coffee business, gigantic, built it online, and then took it offline, and then built a real business, became the CEO, tons of employees. And I had a lot of conversations with him where he would say, I wish I had just kept it online. That's ILD. ILD is understanding what you're building, why you're building it, and not just building for money and not just building for growth, but really building structure. I've made a lot of mistakes. As we built this to $1 million, 9 years ago when this business was getting there, 10 employees, doing these huge events, big masterminds, I built a job. That wasn't ILD. Even though I was teaching it, because I had ILD on one side of the business, I all of a sudden started building because I wanted to grow. And I took my eye off the prize and wasn't focused on the basics of ILD, which is understanding residual income and understanding the effort and the input and the lifestyle part of it. So we've got to understand the lifestyle and really understand what are you building and understand the system, okay? So when we look at Sacred Six and we look at Get It Done Now and all the things I've put together, they're all systems based around ILD. The idea is to get you as efficient and effective as possible, and then find the things you love to do and put your energy there. Okay, that's really what we're doing. And as you do that, finding ways to put value in the marketplace, because here's the big piece of ILD that's really important is you never want to retire. Okay, you just don't want to retire. When you take retirement out of the equation, it changes the whole dynamics of life. Most people are working for retirement. If you think about that, I mean, I'm sure you are too, right? I mean, it's been drilled in us that, man, I can't wait to get to 65 and I can retire. I don't believe in that. I mean, I believe that you generate other income streams and you just never quit working. You create the residual aspects of things, so you always have money coming in. I mean, you hear the stories all the time of people that finally retire and die 2 years later. I want to retire now. Those are ILD concepts, but you have to believe that you can do it. You have to get the information in your mind. You have to go through things to get there. You have to grow. And that's why Morning Coach is so important, because the truth is, it's not the acquisition, or it's not when we get there or hitting the goals. It's who we're becoming along the way. That's what creates all the revenue. Okay. It's who we're becoming along the way. In fact, with ILD, especially my professional experts, you want people calling you. So many people in the coaching business are struggling. The reason they're struggling is they can't get clients. It's not that they're not great at it. They're just not marketers. But not only are they not marketers, they're not putting their energy out there where people are coming to them, because they're not growing as a human being. It perplexes me all the time when a coach comes to me and says, tell me about coaching. I'll say, well, who's your coach? And he says, I don't have a coach. Well, how do you expect people to pay you for a coach when you don't even think you need one? Right? And it's the same thing with masterminds. Jeff Walker taught me that years ago. He goes, JB, if you're going to start a mastermind, you need to join one. And you need to spend more than you do. That's why he spent $45,000 to join his mastermind. And he was right. Because when I made my first offer, and I think it was $20,000 back then when I did my first offer, it was easy because I was already doing it. And so you have to do the basics. And if you're building things, you need to have the right coaching and the right people in your corner to do things differently than everybody else. Otherwise, just do them the same as everybody else. That's not ILD. You want to do it with everybody else, just go get a college degree, go get a job and work. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that's not really ILD unless you're building your life around designing it. Like unless you're using your intellect to design your life. If that's what you're doing, that's fine. But most people, that's not why they're here. Okay, we're here to get organized, structured, get more things done, and then take a look at our life, our jobs, our businesses, and organize around ILD. Make sure you have your nut, know what's going on, and find things that you're going to do that you'll never retire from, that you're excited about. That's what we want to focus on this month, okay? So we ready to do it? Let's go have a great day. We're going to really dive into ILD. I don't have a lot of homework for you. I just want to get into these concepts. I want you to sponge it up. Just be a sponge. And as we work day by day, more and more of this will come, and you'll start to get it. And you'll be like, oh, okay, now I get it. And I'll tell it to you 3 different ways. And one of those ways, you'll get it. And all of a sudden, things will start working. So let's go out there and start the week off with a great, energetic day. Let's keep to our basics. Remember, take time for self-care. That's critical. Listen to Coach Cash. You did that. Check that off. And start your day with those 7 Ps. Make sure you at least get the right perspective this morning and set priorities. And let's go do it to it. It's time to live the ILD life. All right. I love you. Do it to it. And I'll be back tomorrow as we introduce a book. This will be interesting on human design. So go do it to it. And I'll see you tomorrow back here at Morning Coach.